Happy New Year! Have you made your New Year resolution? Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Season 15 of ECCB Connects. It's the beginning of a new year when people make promises to themselves to adopt new behaviors and practices such as eating healthier, spending wisely, and generally take better care of themselves. And of course, we know a lot of the times we miss the mark. On this episode, we share with you some tips on how to stay on course and meet your target. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, there is something you need to do. Go to the Google Play Store and download the Smart Finance app. Yes, it's the Smart Finance app. Just type Smart Finance app in the search area, but make sure to type the $ for the S in Smart, and you will find it. It's a bright yellow and green bulb with a $ in the center. This app is useful and provides lots of information about savings, budgeting, investing, and other financial matters. So be smart and download the Smart Finance app today.
Thanks for staying connected. What's at the top of your list of New Year resolutions? Are you still thinking? Here are some ideas to consider. Let's start with money management.
First tip, which is a tip like with anything else, when you are hitting that gym, you want to be lean. And it's important, first and foremost, when you are focusing on managing your money, you need to have a budget. And that is focusing on what you need to cut out, what you need to focus on, what you should not splurge on, and the goals that you need to set so that you can achieve that budget. And one of the most important ways to start, because most of us don't focus on a budget and we think that it's time consuming and it's something that you need to focus on and be disciplined about. But there are very simple ways to do it. You could focus on the 50-30 rule, where you spend 50% of your income on your needs and your necessities, 30% on your wants, and 20% you save. And that's one of the very first and foremost principles of budgeting. So that is my first point that you should focus on with your money management. The second thing is focusing on that emergency fund. COVID has taught us a lot of things, and the emergency fund is something that we really experienced during that time of the lockdown. You had individuals losing their livelihoods, and needing that essential fund, whereby it is usually 6 months of your monthly income. That went a long way, especially during this pandemic. And that is one principle that is essential and something that most of us would appreciate during this time. Another point, which is the third one, is looking for ways to make your passive income work for you. And that is by investing in, whether it be a fixed deposit, whether it be an equity on the ECCU for the ECSA, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, or just looking at the international markets. It's important for you to make that passive income work, as opposed to just leaving it idle or on a savings account. You look for ways to generate greater income and let that work for you. That money needs to work for you. Another thing that we need to also focus on and embrace is the expenses that we have right now. Right now, because we have interest rates at all-time lows in the ECCU, we need to look at our lending rates and our mortgages, and look for ways in which we can consolidate our debt and to reduce that interest rate that we pay every month. And that means that you need to go and shop around, because your money is your business, and we need to treat it that way. And it's very, very important for us to embrace that. Once we start embracing that, I think we come more and more to the realization of achieving these goals. And when you achieve these goals, you are better able to manage your money. Because for most of us, we always think that you're making $50 and you're spending 50 and you can't save. But reducing certain expenses can really help. And debt consolidation is one of them. It's something that you need to consider, especially now. Because banks are willing to embrace debt consolidation because there's a lot of competitiveness within the banks. So we should focus on that as well. So I will not go into extensive detail because a lot of money management skills and money management information is quite copious. It's all over the place. But these are the basic tools necessary for you to really manage your money and the principles you should follow at the start of the year. There's always this saying, Shana, that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So you start with, focusing on these goals. And I'll repeat them again. One, budget is very important. Two, your emergency fund. Trying to save at least 6 months of your monthly salary. Third, passive income and investing. Right? That is very, very important as well. And fourth, looking at your financial health and looking at ways in which you can reduce your debt. The high interest rates with your credit card, try and bring that down. Your mortgage, if it's too high, you focus on that mortgage and try to see if you can get some consolidation in place to reduce that rate and put you in better financial health, because financial wellness is very, very important. And I think COVID taught us that.
Having our financial goals in order is one less thing to worry about. As our next guest, Dr. Prabhakar, tells us, it is important to safeguard our mental health.
WHO definition is this, that mental health is a holistic approach, and we have to be, the well-being should be of both physical, psychological, and spiritual. To achieve this, we have to do a few things. We always preach in psychology and psychiatry a positive thinking. How do we do that? There is a way, a therapy in psychology called as mindfulness. I think most of my audience would know what it is. It's a good thing. We understand what is happening with ourselves so that we can sit in one place and think for some time. That's what we don't do. The other thing is there are too many stimuli that's bombarding us from everywhere. And we have to be able to separate those stimuli from us and sit in one place. Try to be as indifferent to these stimuli as possible. And the next thing is trying to be as indifferent as possible to stimuli that hurt us, that frustrates us, that gives us pain. We have to somehow separate those things. And then there are certain positive things that we have to think about. We don't, as a society, I think we are becoming more and more alienated within ourselves. One more thing I want people to understand is have compassion to others. I'm not saying they don't have. Caribbean is a much better place to live. So I have lived for 40 years here because of that. But this thing is going away from a society because of a culture or an onslaught of a culture that's coming from elsewhere. We have to be compassionate and we must be empathetic. That's the most important thing. We don't do that. Let's try and be empathetic towards everybody. We must have gratitude. People do things for us, but we don't show gratitude. These are the positive aspects of life which will probably lead us to some kind of happiness. And of course, we have the churches to go to. The religious heads and the churches and the support given by these churches have a lot to do with our well-being. And I know that how well these people support our people. It is important for us to take these help. As I say always, the finality of life is this, that we have to be happy. Not because we have a lot of money or a lot of land or we go to different places, but the happiness has to be from the inside. That's the most important thing. That is the best way to keep your mental health, to be happy. And to be happy, you have to do certain things. You have to be positive. You have to take away the negativism in us, right? And you have to create indifference to certain situations and frustrations that we have. If we do all that one by one, slowly, we will definitely be happy.
The experts agree that physical fitness is important to our mental health and brings us a host of other benefits. Mr. David Walrin is a fitness consultant here in St. Kitts and Nevis and is here to talk about the numerous benefits of physical fitness. Mr. Walrin, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go right into it. How important is physical fitness?
Well, Shauna, you have to see, first of all, you have to see physical fitness as part of an overall health. We have to see health as a holistic approach, which includes stress management, physical activity, nutrition. Those are very three main components that makes up an overall health, and that cannot be separated. Those things are inextricably linked. So I could be physically fit, but if I don't manage my stress, I'm terrible, and vice versa. And so we have to see, first of all, good health that encompasses those three main components. So why is physical fitness important? It improves sleeps, improves cardiovascular function, circulation of blood, improves your mood. It helps you manage your weight, and we could go on and on and on. So there are many benefits to exercise.
For those persons who may not have the facilities as a gym that we're in, can you share with us a simple exercise routine that they can do to stay active?
For me, exercise have to sort of mimic how we were if we were living prehistorically. So for me, I prefer compound movements that sort of mimic our natural physiology. As you get into it, you want it to be more specific and target certain specific muscle groups, that's fine. But to start out, I prefer compound movements that sort of mimic how we were if we were living prehistorically. And compound movement in the sense you do things that you would if you were living in the wild, And so we like to rule that, if I may.
Great, let's go.
It's important to note that any physical activity has to have 3, 4, 5 main components. That's muscle strength, muscle endurance, cardiovascular conditioning, and flexibility. All right? And any activity that you may do at home must also include 3 major muscle groups. That's your upper body, lower body, and your core. With me is Kyron, and Shauna is over there, and I have Siddiqui. And there are 3 different levels. They represent 3 different levels. We have beginners, intermediate, and Siddiqui is the advanced because he's the biggest, strongest guy here. So we'll start first with a simple squat. If you're at home, and all that we do here requires really no equipment, and so there's really no excuse for anyone. And if you have some issues and you may not necessarily have the strength, Shauna is going to be able to demonstrate how you can even perform simple exercises. All right? Ready to rock and roll? We're going to do first a simple squat. All right? And you want to come down very slow and deliberate and drive to the soles of the feet. Push back up. Here we go. And drive back up. All right? Beautiful. That's a squat. Shauna, you want to demonstrate the modified. If you're at home, you have problems with your knees and you may not necessarily have the leg strength, you can simply use a chair. And if you needed assistance, you can push yourself back up with the chair. Just like that. All right? If you are advanced and you want to make it a little more challenging, you can use a kettlebell or something with weight. And Siddiqui can show you how to perform that movement. Big water bottle. As Karen said, that will work as well. And you can make it a little more challenging. So Siddiqui, you can squat and add another component to it. And you can squat and swing that dumbbell. Down. Right, so that's also engage your core and you're working the legs at the same time. And we're continuing with the same pattern. Karen is going to do the intermediate, Shauna the beginners, and Siddiqui's advanced. So just a basic push-up, core is nice and strong, same thing, engage, shoulders stabilize, hip stabilize. We go down very slowly and push the floor away from you. Good. Nice job, excellent. That's a perfect push-up. All right, excellent. Shauna is going to do the modified. So if you don't have good strength, as Kyron does, this is a modified way you can do it. And Shauna is doing that very perfectly. Notice how her back is nice and flat. Her tailbone is not up, tilted up. That is a perfect push-up. Same thing, same concept. Core is still engaged, shoulder stabilized, and she's doing that very perfectly. Excellent. And we move to an advance. So if you want to add another element, Siddiqui is going to show you how you can make this a little more interesting. And he's going to tap, bam. And tap, bam. And tap. That makes it a little more interesting. Last exercise, if you really want to make it very interesting and you don't have a lot of time, you want to combine all those things together, you can actually combine upper body movement with the core. And so Kyron is going to demonstrate that for you. He's going to do a push-up with a pike. So he's working the chest and the core all at the same time. So still, form is still nice and good. Slow and deliberate movements so you can maximize the benefit of the exercise. Nice job, Kyron. Shauna is going to do the modified version, same thing. Coming down very slowly and pull in the end. That's it, good, go for it. And alternate. Nice. And well done, beautiful. And Siddiqui will do a sort of an advance. This is going to elevate your heart rate. He's going to bring both legs in with the hop. Boom. This requires a lot of upper body strength, and it's also going to tax you cardiovascularly. So those were 3 exercises you can do at home. And you want to do 3 sets of each, and you can progressively increase that to 4 sets. You want to do each set to failure. Keep in mind that those exercises has to be combined with good nutrition and how you manage your stress. Also, remember there are 4 components to exercise, not just muscle strength, muscle endurance, but also be sure that you stretch after to incorporate flexibility.
I am connected.
I am connected.
I am connected.
Are you connected? Have you liked the ECCB Connects Facebook page and subscribed to the YouTube channel? It's quick and easy. Next time you go check in for the latest scoop on Facebook, just search for ECCB Connects and hit like. While you're at it, check us out on YouTube. Search for ECCB Connects and hit subscribe. And just like that, you're connected. But don't keep it all to yourself. Invite your relatives, friends, associates, and even your Facebook stalkers to get connected too. Hey, you're not on Facebook? No problem. Send us a WhatsApp message to 662-2561 and we'll connect you to our broadcast list. So come on, get connected.
That brings us to the end of another episode of ECCB Connects. Remember to take the right actions to improve your money management skills, your mental and physical health this year. Thank you for watching. We invite you to connect with us next week for another program.